What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. We're going to be diving into the fantasy football playoffs, my top 10 defenses plus 3 streaming defensive options heading into this week. And what we're going to be looking for here is points per game, high implied point total scripts, cold games, low implied point total scripts, grunge battle matchups, and then playoff matchups where they're 6-7, 7-6 kind of looking at and how I think those defenses are going to play out this week. Now, before we dive into it, guys, as always, hit that like and subscribe. Help your boy out. Turn that bell on. I'll be live Thursday all weekend long this week. The pneumonia is kind of going away. I'm still dealing with it, so the content's going to be cranking. And then next week, I'll try to get everything out before Thursday because then I'm gone for 2 weeks straight for the family vacation to Iowa. So I don't know how that content's going to work out, but again, I'll get to that when we get there. Now, if you guys haven't checked out drafters.com or the Guys FF Discord, both those links are pinned in the top of the comments and the description of the video. If you want to talk fantasy football with us 24/7 off stream, that is the place to be. Now, let's dive into the fantasy football playoff week 15 top 10 defenses plus 3 streaming options if you need. And I dropped these before the waiver wire I forget the guy's name on YouTube that told me to do it. Great idea, but let's dive into it right now. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my defensive ranking board. Defensive 1 at the top, tier 1, 1 through 5, tier 2, 6 through 10, and then the yellow with the circles around, yellow circles around are going to be my streamer plays this week. Now remember what we're looking for: low implied point total games, division battles, playoff battles, and a couple injuries here and there that are going to play into this, how we rank them out here. So defense number 1, I mean, Jesus, the defense that is just putting people into the fantasy football playoffs. The Seattle Seahawks' new Legion of Boom is absolutely lights out, and it gets even better in round 1 of the playoffs. You get the Indianapolis Colts. Danny Dimes just blew his Achilles out, non-contact injury, and they bring in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who has 10 kids, is a grandfather, and one of his kids is older than Tyler Warren. And this guy hasn't played football, and how long he's going to go out there at the 12th man at Seattle. Good luck. 42.5 over under. There's a reason Seattle is favored by 13.5, and they are my easy number 1 defense on the week. Number 2 is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. They did play good defensively versus Los Angeles Chargers last night on Monday Night Football, even without Jalen Carter out there. But Justin Herbert was banged up with the hand surgery and played through it. They still lost the game. But it doesn't get any better than this. Now you're at home. They're kind of in a must-win situation, 8-5. Their offenses look terrible, but there's no better get-right game than the Las Vegas Raiders. You don't even know. I mean, Geno Smith's been playing like Jamarcus Russell. He's been that bad. I've been ragging on this guy since like week 3, and they're still throwing him out there as a starter. I don't know what Pete Carroll is even thinking at all. So 38.5 is the over-under, which is crazy for a Philly game because that's how bad their offense has been. 11.5 favored. They are going to get after Kenny Pickett, or if they throw out Geno Smith, you could probably put the Eagles at number 1 if they throw out Geno Smith. He's been so terrible. Defense number 3 is going to be probably the best defense in football, and they're matchup proof at this point. The Houston Texans are absolutely out of their minds. DeMeco Ryans is coaching just a phenomenal gem defensively. You're going to get the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I know that Jacoby Brissett has put up 20 points in almost every single game he's played in. He's been a top 5 quarterback. Michael Wilson's been the wide receiver 1. I mean, Trey McBride's been the tight end 1. They're pass heavy. They're not going to have Trey Benson. So the run game, you don't even run on Houston anyways. So that's going to be gone. But they have shut down Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. It's just this defense is so good. So yeah, you got to like that Arizona is a pass heavy team. And could Jacoby Brissett still find his way to 20? Possibly. But I'm taking the 8-5 Texans defense is playing lights out as my number 3, regardless of the matchup, because they've earned it. Matchup defense number 4 that I absolutely love this week is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I love all 4 and like even 5 of these defenses. I'd say the top 4 the most, right? You're going to get the New York Jets here. 41.5 over under. Jacksonville's favored by 12.5. We have no idea who the quarterback is going to be for the Jets this week. Justin Fields, is he going to come back? Tyrod Taylor went down. I mean, dude, it was so ugly to watch last week. Jacksonville at 9-4. They are going to feast on the New York Jets this week. And that's what I meant by like these top 4, right? My number 5 is going to be the Niners. but I don't put the Niners in like the elite tiers, those top 4 teams. Like that's how I would, break it down for you guys. But my Niners are going to come in at number 5. You're going to get the Tennessee Titans. There's no cold weather here. You're going to be in San Francisco. And I know Cam Ward's got a little rhythm going here, and he's looked a little better, like I've said throughout the couple videos here, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for Cam Ward. But this is the 49ers coming off a bye, 9-4, Robert Saleh, and I know we're down Bosa, Michael Williams, Fred Warner. Fred Warner's even trying to push to come back for the playoffs, which is crazy that he's doing that. So when I'm looking at this situation here, I think this is going to be a time of possession controlled 49er game where they just run the clock, CMC, pound them out, dominate the game, and you don't get a lot of Titan opportunities here, which is why I like the 49ers defense at number 5. Number 6, the Dallas Cowboys, and they haven't been on this list very much, right? Because their defense has been terrible. So, and they rank bottom in almost everything. But since they've traded for Quinn and Williams from the Jets, their run D's become top 10. They might get Travion Diggs back in this game. Will help their secondary a little bit. He's more of a gamble corner. They could go for a pick and cost you a touchdown at the same time. But you're going to get J.J. McCarthy. And people are like excited for J.J. McCarthy because he threw 3 touchdowns last week at Washington, all to the Titans. Dude, the Commanders' defense is the worst in football, right? And Justin Jefferson did nothing. I'm not putting J.J. McCarthy up anywhere. If you watch my waiver wire video, I have him as a sketch sleeper start at best. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are pissed about the loss they just have. They're going to get after J.J. McCarthy, and we're going to get J.J. McCarthy to fall back to earth this week. And I like the Cowboys defense at number 6. Number 7 is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Monday Night Football, 7-6 versus 6-7 Dolphins, who are fighting back into it. 42.5 over under. Pittsburgh's favored by 3. And this is going to be that cold game where it's going to be a real, real big struggle for Tua. Now, I know like last week we were like, Tua in the cold. Dude, the Jets just blew that game with Tyrod Taylor got hurt on the first drive, and the Dolphins just pounded 50 run attempts. Like, they didn't even use anybody. Now you're going to have to be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers here. This is where you're going to get the interceptions from Tua. This is where it's going to be a rough game for Miami, even though it's a plus matchup through the air for Jalen Waddle and maybe Darren Waller here that I like. I just think this defense is going to get a lot of sacks and get after Tua this week, and they're number 7 for me. Number 8, the Green Bay Packers, and it's becoming, I know you play the Denver Broncos here. You're at Mile High. The weather looks good for this game as well. Denver's offense hasn't been that great. They've been beating up on lower competition now. This Green Bay Packers defense is so good. I mean, what Micah Parsons has brought to this team is just unbelievable. And I honestly, they're going to be in my top 10 every single time just because they're so good all around. Versus the run, versus the pass, versus the tight end, everything. Sack equity with Rashawn Gary and him. It's just lights out. So, and I think this is a huge, look for both of these teams. We're going to see if the Packers can contend with the top team from the AFC. We're going to see if the Broncos are actually for real here in this game. So I think the Packers defense is going to be actually a legitimate play against a very good Denver Broncos team here. Number 9 is going to be the Chicago Bears. Now, I know their defense is beat up. They did get Jalen Johnson back. That helps. Hopefully they get Kyle Gordon back as well at corner. But you guys know I love Shadur Sanders too. Like, I've been riding high on Shadur while everyone's hating on Shadur, and I do think he's going to be the future. But you're getting at Chicago. This game's going to be 4 degrees, freaking ice cold. It's going to be more of a run fest to me. Did Shadur Sanders play great in the snow last week in the cold? Of course, he played great, right, versus the Titans at home. You're going to be at Soldier Field in this game. Chicago coming off that loss to Green Bay. I think they're going to be a little more angry, and they don't want Shadur to drop 360 yards and 40 fantasy points on him again here. So I do like the Bears defense at number 9. Number 10 is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is that AFC grunge battle I was talking about here. So AFC West. So you got the Chargers, and you saw the Chargers, like Monday Night Football, right? Justin Herbert didn't look right. Was he running with his legs to win the game for him? For sure. I love the heart and grit that Justin Herbert put out there. Can't argue that. But the passing game, and this is why I was like, I like Lab McConkey under. I like Keenan Allen under. I like Quentin Johnson under before the show last Monday. And all those props hit because you can tell he's not right in the passing game, right? So, yeah, Kamani Vidal hit that 60-yard screen. You got Amari Hampton's first game back. Good to see him back. He got that little touchdown reception, but that was a little dink and dunk throw. Like, Herbert doesn't look right. So, Kansas City Chiefs, now you're at 9-4 Chargers heading to the 6-7 Chiefs, trying to save their dynasty here, trying to save their playoff hopes at Arrowhead. They are going to get after Justin Herbert. I know when you look at the matchup on paper, like you're going against the Chargers, but it's not the 100% healthy Chargers, and I like the Kansas City Chiefs at number 10. Now, streaming option time here. And remember, if you guys were in the show, everyone was talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how good their schedule is. I get all of that, right? So they're going to be my streamer number one. But I want to throw out that, like, they're not a really good defense, guys. Like, the matchups they have look great coming ahead, and you can hold them if you want. You get Atlanta, Carolina, Miami. That looks great on paper. I understand that. But you got to look at it like this too. Like let me just drop this in here. The number 32 ranked defense versus the quarterback, and I know they're playing Kirk Cousins, so it's Kirk Cousins doesn't look great, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're allowing 26.6 points per game. So yeah, the matchups are great that they have, but their defense is also not great. So I do like this matchup as a streaming option for them this week. But again, I just wanted to clarify, like, all the questions we had throughout the shows is Tampa the best defense for the schedule? I don't believe so. So yeah, they're a good streaming option if you didn't draft a defense or you don't have the Texans or a top D. For sure, the matchups are great, but they're not a very good defense. Defense number 2 that I like on the week this week is going to be the Carolina Panthers, coming off a bye, going up against Tyler Shuck. You got a little division battle here, and the Panthers, this is my playoff call sleeper of the year. If they win this game, they move to 8-6. The defense is going to have to play great here. We don't know if Kamara is going to be out there. And if the Panthers can get ahead here and pound their offensive line, which they have a top 5 line, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard more involved, control the clock here, keep it away from Shuck, I do think it's going to be less opportunities here for the New Orleans Saints in this game, especially if Alvin Kamara is out again. And the number 3, we're going dart throw here. And this is not a good pass defense by any means, but their front 7 with Abdul Carter, they're going to get after you, man. So this is the New York Giants at home. Jackson Dart back in the game against Marcus Mariota. And we just saw Mariota throw up -2 against the Vikings. Yeah, he was thrown into the game late. Yeah, Jaden Daniels got hurt. They still have McLaurin and Debo. But what are they really fighting for for the Commanders, right? They should be playing for their draft pick by now. They're 3-10. It's wraps. So, and then the Giants are as well. So who knows? And the Giants have the number 1 pick, which also makes it nerve-wracking. But their front 7 is so good. I think this is going to be probably my favorite streamer play out of the 3 down here, even though they're going up against, McLaurin, Debo, Sanat, probably better weapons than the Saints have if you look at it all around. But I think their sack equity and turnover equity is going to be better than the other 2 streaming options this week. Thanks for rocking with me. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. That is the end of my top 10 defenses plus 3 streamers to help you advance to the semifinals of the fantasy football playoffs. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, comments, it doesn't matter. It doesn't pertain to this video. Drop it down below. It is playoff crunch time. I'm going to answer every single one of them. Not going to say I'm going to try to this week, but I know there's going to be a ton of them, but I'll still get to them. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. Again, you guys have been absolutely amazing this season. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. And man, how about if I helped you get to the fantasy football championship, let's pump that up in the comments. Drop it in there, man. It means the world because I put my heart and soul into this for you guys to be better every single week here. Now, if you guys haven't checked out the sponsor, drafters.com, or our premium Discord, the Guys FF, again, both those are pinned in the comments down below and in the description of the video. And then my next video, I'm either going to try to get my smash plays out this week or tonight. Again, we're packing for our vacation and everything going on, so I don't know how it's going to play out. But if I don't get them out tonight, they'll start tomorrow, and then I'll also do my start sits for every single position this week. I am trying to get back to 100% health here. I will get it out to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, man. I'll catch you in the next one. Sleazebomb out.